Hello, I'm Dana Alice Niamh, and it's 23:43 on the 9th of November 2020. And Verona is here, but she's sleeping to my right, so I actually get to stretch my legs out for once. Very luxurious. And I have cinnamon apple tea. It's nice for winter. Today, in my foraging around my shelf looking for the next thing to read, I realized that there was still a couple of Sean Bonney books I haven't read. I was studying, what was it? I was looking through happiness when I first started my dissertation, which feels like 3 million years ago, but it was actually just like one. And there was a pretty good poem talk podcast about that, looking through that particular work and kind of exploring thoughts about some of the potential academic theorizing of what he may have been thinking about, but I'm I'm not convinced that I don't know. I'm not sure what to make of it yet. Anyway, the work is very good, and I was reminded today because Earthbound Press's new release, they're doing it every Monday. If you haven't checked it out, then it's free for today, I think for the next 24 hours-ish. On Instagram, you can find it. The newest one is by Timothy Thornton, who is a wonderful human being, and you should buy his book. And it's a letter to Sean Bonney, who died last year. So here we are, exploring the beginnings of Blade Pitch Control Unit, which was, let's see, published in 2005. Okay, stop talking and do other talking. Nice one. The Domestic Poem, which was from 2000. Okay, but first some tea. Verona, do you want to hear some Sean Bonney? Verona? She's sleeping. She's not impressed yet. Cross Harbour, at the right, windy crossroad, past the George, keep to left, got a market on your body, 3 souls, left at school, 1 minute, Manchester Road, 3 minutes. Leg twitch, listen, the forest door, or brewing coffee, the kitchen table, papers, hissing, waiting. Where'd you put that voice? Left at the siren, blowing stones. Walk on, strike softly away from children. Image, 30,000 years, but shops remain. Got open eye hatch life, sea lilies, sea whip, walk on, pearls and fists, turn up to force 8 and Gizikis, to crack on these ribs, go shopping, for tanks, for furnace, for fibre, for nettle, them homes are taken, built from nails, them homes, strike softly, siren, step stone, step it, his pretty property, ground to pebbles, and spitting, and shopping, carried in pockets to river, and nettle, and fibre, and coils, and rain, and shadows rumble. Doesn't matter if music's attached to the scene when your ears are stuffed with silver. Each house is on its own cycle. You walk in from the street and the scene changes. What secret is this? Perhaps the house of someone you've never known. Perhaps a landscape. In the foreground, a sovereign, a child, placing the head in his wide mouth. A photo on the wall and sounds glued to the windows. Border sound. Imsonic. And a presence behind the walls, that you know what it is in shadows, book breath, how to get to and eat it, how lip fuck, to get the tongue in. In other words, what that means, photocopy the dictionary, paste it over the windows, you'll still see the sky, but... Fast Victoria to Warren Street. Gotta get back to my flat. Gotta get... I'm gonna start this one again. fast Victoria to Warren Street. Gotta get back to my flat. Got a flat, got a key, cause got a flat, got a TV, got a lovely, got a cat, got a flower, gotta come, gotta see what mirror, what left at the mirror, back of my mirror. Got a lovely pussy cat, and gonna feed him his whiskers. Gonna buy him, gonna flower, gonna go to that, what's that, the name of that whirlpool, the name of that jasmine, the name of that shop. Gonna go to that, what's the name of, which is what, which is larger, the honey or the padlock, the honey or the, got blood, got blue river, glue, powdered blue, got the name of that shop. Sell paper, dust and padlock, dust and cigarettes. It sells cigarettes. Gonna go do that, yeah. Gonna go do that. Jasmine, that lovely. Gonna cigarettes. Get my pussycat. Gonna take him for walkies. That's lovely. Mayday. Whatever's missing will be here by spring. You can date it, you can wrap it, you can stamp it flat. Don't you worry, it's instant product. Don't worry about what it is, it'll bore us. Here's the market we're eating, dogs and honey. Whatever's missing has never stopped yelling. It was always the wax in our ears, it was amoeba conduction. I accord no sympathy, no ginger digression, but flesh it, and the planet moves. It's a question of biting the hand, expectant child versus real fangs. It's called dehydration, locked in the square till the chief pig rises from the soil where dust was thrown, magma dust boiling, scorched alembic, transformed on the bone track. It's simply what happens. It's every good kid's duty to smash up McDonald's and eat some granite. You know you could choke for years, or you could stop it. With the third stone, it's possible to discover any person in any part of the world. Did you hear about that guy who went to a party with a brick on his face? So the chirping of birds, the lowering of beasts, shame begins the dawn, shall become you a true oracle. Calcium splinters on impact to you, running through pits of hysterical sun, posing for photographers, a ring of cops around the neck. If you feel weighed down, don't worry. It's only the price tag in your mouth, stored in police files as wealth jangles in your pockets, and you study what words mean when you don't understand. When you don't know, you can't be sure. Meanwhile, you wake up in the morning and pebbles have not grown in your throat, suggesting the 5 differences between granite and cows. This isn't hysteria. It's as rational as anyone's likely to get, as pebbles split scratch toads. It isn't a question, not even of wealth. Just when, and does he ever intend to get those leather hands off my throat? I mean, good question. I think I may be the ginger digression. Sorry about that, guys. There's got to be something to do about the hole in the door, the paint on the walls, cowslip, jaguart, helix, monk's beard, the replacement of stains, to unhook the telephone calls, send them free skidding, watch them scraping the sky brood, then fill in the holes, whatever, grimly count your pennies. And whatever satisfaction that might, such a pity, and toads there, waiting in the shadows. The view from the windows bears little relation to bitten and sulphed. Have you ever been to the end of the street? Take a good hard look at the imitations. They're growing. Just going down there to post a letter, left at the siren. Down there, gone down from letter to letter, vessel to vessel, latched, locked, the vessel loaded. Remain in the vessel. Do you think it will rain? It's mad here, mad to blah, blah, blah. Mad here, mad to severe love, cling to that, will bring still love, steal away, loaded, locked. Down there, down that, it's all at gate, street, locked, shut. My love, away, throbbing in driftwood, a few ghosts, from vessel to vessel, on impact rainbows burst, in nettles and bronze intact. Certain young aristocrats are photographed pushing trolleys on sink estates as evidence of their compassion. It's great fun dropping TVs on their heads. Okay, I need to start that again. Certain young aristocrats are photographed pushing trolleys on sink estates as evidence of their compassion. It's great. Okay, right. Twice is enough. It's great fun dropping TVs on their heads. The shape that it was it ass never as it called dog's monk's beard a stain, and then out to buy records. The houses are startling geometry. Telephone, yes. Rain pit, red marsh, lip fuck, no. Couldn't think what. Like Snapgrin, the house is so bountiful, everybody there, at sewing. An axe embedded in the heads reveals such splendors, though the neighbours look on aghast. Calling all dogs. It's to do with watching TV and making all kinds of phone calls to leave the house not unreasonable, but unthinkable. Whatever it is keeps writing in chalk on the pavements and buckets of stars. The house unravelable. Into the blindering house, so that I could, my sleep, the noise comes this way, hear myself in my own voice rats, made well as he. The street is a bone. The Rose from 2000. Pop stars on Holloway Road. Sorry guys, my eyes are a little bit tired today. It's quite hard to sight read very well. A lifetime, the body named as bubbles are, in a pan at boiling point, an overflow, a cinnabar. It's like standing outside the Odeon, wondering whether to cross the road, buy a paper, to shelter from the rain. All adverts cancelled, and thieves retreat into shelters, not apples, and cigarettes to minimize appeal, intensity, like Diet Pepsi, hurts teeth, then it's gone, like the address, the figure in the window, like Pop's been shite for years. Anyway, think of it. Who are Blur kidding? So cough up the painting, and gold settles in the lungs, reproduces life that feeds on sulfur. So live, where even the animals would die. So live behind broken clouds and maps worn hazy at the edges, burnt even the places to live breathing. The window won't open. The cold night fog brings ocean, invisible creatures to crack open lips and heart, to flood in and out, beauty, fuck it, lip grind, tongue musk, more clouds? Just buy some ketamine, swim down 3rd Avenue, the shoreline, clamber up into London, aquatic mammals, serenade the tube and grin on humour, cold and green. Painting, pouring on the oil, hands stained, cigarettes, lips, methadone stained with King's Cross, puked the next day away, Radio 4, hands shaking. My hatred of the rich is non-judgmental, non-random, an obelisk to drag across a map of all the places you visited, the sparks that showered stars. Wankers turn blue in bricked-up rooms and trains pass. Property speculation, value calculated on the length of vibration, the Chaldean discus, trembling in fingers, throw pebbles at flickering windows, move in the light of the traffic. All these speculators nicking what they think dead cool, naked or in a jacket, financial expletives. Rents predict astronomy. On the street again, let's see. 1 jacket, 3 boots, and that's the lot. Boho theme parks the world over. Shovel the homeless out of Tompkins Square, and no one's surprised. Just what exactly is a Buffalo Girl? And where does she hide? So collect the spirits of dead capitalists haunting the tube. Abstract gnosis, better to shoot anything. Work on a painting for 3 years till the image coats your gut. A jacket, all kinds of warm weather. Step into postcards. Be stupid or glam. Retire to a factory. Write shit. Mail it out. Wait in the blue light of your flickering cell. Pulsates with 30,000 years of sexual prediction, and beyond that some kind of stone you're carrying, scraping a path through London muck and traffic gridlock, or the train stops and tunnel for the benefits of tourists who accumulate in vast numbers on the corner of Whitehall, just for the purpose of scaring the pigeons and conversing with bricks, literally naturally, mirrors that shimmer with the eye peering out, unknown to beast and humanity. The river that echoes beneath your boots, flagstones carry sulfur, bedrock of strange life, plants, solar ice. Freely associate with the variables, the numbers exist all around town, like bridges, like river of their own invention. Freely to go in one door, out another, out a different building, and the lights that hang in windows and faces. Then plaster faces, put them in your mouth, they warm. Something sound like pebbles, underwater, almost pebbles, almost heat, sighs. Patron of thieves and seas. Or then again, there's always the possibility of Charing Cross, the fall to the knees as singing, as bubbles in a pan at boiling, slogans, 'cause when mass is broken we eat it. The plate full of numbers, laced with memory and sauce, bubbling warmly under bracken rocks. The silver-headed brook, the invasion of Oxford Street, the naming of plants and animals, the naming of streets and planets, the invocation of corpuscles. Corpuscles? I don't actually know what that means. I have to look that up. The invocation of corpuscles, the feeding of cells. Freely associate in the sound that faces make, in nets and geography, ministers and molecules, light reflected off several windows. It's best to walk in the shop, spell of invisibility, dress down, but don't stink. Shove the goods wherever you want, down your pants, under your hat, into your bone. Walk out, recall you've done nothing wrong. Get to the tube or bone, whatever, damn fast. Ha, now you can eat. Do you kiss on a first date? Broke the stone open and communication. We ate those golden things. Do you kiss on a first date? Bah, I'll pull your teeth out. So cough me in my hands. Here, have down your pants, under your hat, into your bones. Meet me on Oxford Street. We'll go into Borders, steal everything. That sounds fun. I mean, yeah, stealing books. It's different. For Bob, cobbing through the sound hole where cobbing is. Okay, this is... I mean, they've been arranged very interestingly on the page so far. Kind of traditional line breaks, somewhat, for some of them, but then some of them are moving around, and we've had bolding, sometimes capitalizing, underlining, italicizing, that kind of thing. And a couple of them, like the cat one, he's kind of moving a bit more around the page. But this one is like, I don't know, how do I describe this? Prose formatted, like it's not blocked in the sense of like to the side where you kind of justify, but it's kind of interrupted every few words by colons. I think that's what they're called, the little dot fellas. 3 of them together, always. Yeah, it looks like it's always 3 of them together. And it's about 1¼ pages long. Okay. So I don't know how I'm going to read these little posy fellas, but we'll see how it feels. For Bob cobbing through the sound hole where cobbing is. Is the verb is, the pupil of the eye is, to gate, to verse, to reach over, sunrise, to seize, to live through, casting metal, pouring oil, to metal, to scry, to flow, to wilder, to lament, wailer, to invoke, spider, to stand under, to take wing, to turn the ground, well, spring, to brighten, the palm print, casting, seizing over, vowel pit, to turn old, duplicator, handle to, turn, one's roll, to reach over, sunrise, to roll the ground, one's life, the mark on the paper, the sound emitted, the skyline, to sing, is a verb, to signal, the vowel pit, from vessel, to signal, palm print, to signal, to mouth, start, mouth flume, is a verb, is mouth flume, Oh shit, it's moth flume. Okay, to mouth, start a moth flume is a verb is moth flume, arising in the rift between mind and tongue through the word black noise, resides in other elements, more like itself, making the poem more like itself, in mind and tongue, in thought and word, in vowel pit, casting metal, pouring oil, to brighten, to seize, to love through, the sound hole, in vowel pit, in black noise, in flicker noise light, cacophon noise, to love through, all the words in any language spell, what burst, what blue flame, that rinky-dink, that Bebo-Palula, what no century is, them precious stones, them hole in the ground, them pictures, liberation, my life in a hole in a sound flow, wave crash red, throat a sea wave sound, word blow, it's all sperm, it's word toss and scatter, noise ingested, throttle star, inner throat to speak of, to enter them words, to walk around the burst in bees of swallow down, from vessel, ova, water, to brighten, the palm print, casting, seizing over, to turn the skyline, as the sound of, to flicker noise, in comet hair, in stamp stamp and kick foot, in the pupil of my eye, to reach over, sunrise, to seize, to live through. My life in a liberation wave crash resides, poetry, now, more like itself, in other elements, reside, elements, thorn gust, elements, moth flume, and in the turn, in the hands, in elements, resides, poetry, in skyline, emerges, to signal, from vowel pit to mouth, in element resides other, more like itself, resides, in marks on paper, emitted, skyline, elements turning, the ground handle, the roll, resides, in wing take, in wellspring, to turn the ground, bone, muscle, nerve, blood, brain, poetry resides. Okay, interesting. There's a lot in all of these I'm going to need to go through again. It's definitely a different flavor. Notes on Heresy, 2000 to 2001. What do you think so far, Verna? What do you think? Yeah? And scratchy little footsies. Yeah? No scratchy little footsies. Yeah, you're right. We need to go back to reading, don't we? Tom O'Bedlam. Ragged, hungry, rended, naked. Book of senses, self-forsaken, thought is sky. Oh, okay. So this is in 2 columns. It starts about halfway through, the second column comes in. So I'm not totally sure whether to read one column at a time or start going across as the columns cross each other. I'm gonna try going across the first time and see how it goes. Ragged, hungry, rended, naked, book of senses, self-forsaken, thought is sky, rag and wretch, will ever walk it, the humdrum, night-stripped, watered, love-lipped, lark-rock open, thought is sky, senses 5, the senses wing in 40 days with is oxlet, beggar's staff, ragwort, by sea or land, waken, is cold to drink, senses 5, and the fury glass rend it naked, the standing pool, burning, is city meat, love-lipped, from newt to tadpole, journey, spawn to man, is charged with fire, is lark-rock, breathing myrtle stone to mark the city, cross the palm with silver glass and scarlet ring of poisoned scents of sea or land, will ever walk it, devil-lipped, love-bodied, swallow, standing pool, is cold, Swallow standing pool is cold, is broken in the journey night. Want cash, the stinking soul, a murder Tom's is obsolete from a cold. Cash tooth ghosts, a kicking Tom's. Want cash, a cold, a murder Tom's a cold. Lip silver, hold his poisoned. Sea or land to mark the faces. Tom has slept to keep his wide eye fancy. 10 days I haven't eaten. 10 days I don't talk shit or mock the carving money meat. His book of secret senses open. Tom's a cold, a lamb prevail, and break the shine, 'cause Tom's a cold, a stinking skein, a lambsbred moth, to break the curses, stone the crawling common sense of lambstone, breaking curses, belching threats of law, a London stone around the neck of Tom's a stinking skin of shine, a broken high tide, Juka curses on the whip, the lamb throne break it, bleat through foxglove, heartbeat, flicker out the cursing breath of common sense, a lamb's throw breaking throats of curses, flowers. Ufrona. It's very fast when I have these little lines. Yeah, there's like lots and lots of tiny, short, like 1 to 4 lines. Actually, I think they're all 1 to 4. Yeah. Okay, interesting. I wonder what that's about. The limit of 4. But I don't actually know who Tom Bedlam is. I have to look that up. It's the trouble with starting reading anything in one go, is you have to always stop and look. I was gonna read you Beowulf today. I almost started. I looked at the first few pages and I'm like, I don't know how to pronounce any of these names. I'm gonna have to do a little preliminary research on the names first. But yeah, I have the Kidney version that I haven't read through yet. Defects in the structure of the state. That the leaves fall late and float old trunks up, turned and vanish, and the air is a flame of rubble construction. 1330. Tell me, what do you wish I do not wish? What are you? I am not the broken country, the drone of ages. In rubble are you, oil of lunacy. I am not 1340 on a slow fire, that the leaves are, give me 15p, and turned and vanish, burn the hedges, cross water, like strange sparrows do, red-robed as lorries pass. Don't, on a slow fire in deep time, established songs, commercial centers. I am not a nameless rubble, have refused the plea of lunacy. But tell me, but me, but where do you come? From trade routes, from nowhere, a spark or a light, like strange sparrows. The letter A, for us this is not a crime, or C is musk, ambergris, bruised lingham, or F, give me 15p and tell me the business. But what but tell me, the falling leaves, the blood of a pigeon, the brain of a fox, but what do you wish I do? The broken country, drone, unread, old drunk. And is all fragmented. It's quite hard to see which lines are connected. I mean, that's also because I'm like visually, spatially a bit on the special side, but it kind of like reminds me of when Steve was reading the humorment page on our introduction class, and he was like reading things in a really pretty much every combination of going forwards and backwards you can think of, just to, you know, see what you can do with it. Like, what do you wish I do the broken country I drone do old drunk I do you wish I unread, kind of thing. Oh, poem's not even over, Dana, seriously. Back to business. Aleph Beta for first or Katri. 1989. The resident don't want their poisonous water. That we turn and vanish red-robed cross water to transcend institutional frameworks. But what that the leaves are, vanish and old drunks float upturned like strange euphorbium, lodestone and sulphur. 1330, 1270, 1550, 1545, 1307, 1340, 1544, autonomous groups of involuntary poor, cross water dry shod, walk a yard above ground. I'm trying to figure out if these are dates or times. Not from round here, are you? If you give me a piece of money, I'll carve the glass to windows where you keep your face and break and scratch indeed as if fingernails litter dreams my me is they won't charge the earth secret words, secret hoardings, illegal persons. This illegal persons. Illegal persons pass through calendars into leaves, dates, wheels. Imagine. What are you? I am not. The park is on fire. If 1495 is easy, okay, they have to be dates then. If 201 is the same year, the names on the litter change. It's all naming. The seasons brick up a fear of loving, translated to history where names are etched out or sewn in the voice. The fabric, the logic is wrong. And chase the net of ghouls, all money is. Will brick up the gates, the dangerous rhythms, the ashes, the river will fill all mouths that talk wild talk. And rain, he said, yes. There is a spot of ink my face could scrub the shells to keep the voice locked in. Earth, warm, flood, locked, shell, poor, devils that we are. Okay, interesting. It's very challenging trying to figure out how to read these out, especially for the first time. We're moving around the page a lot. I know you can't see, but lyric poetry, surveillance. This starts with a quote from someone called Raoul Vaneigem. Poetry is always somewhere. Everywhere repressed, this poetry springs up everywhere. Brutally put down, it is reborn in violence. It plays muse to rioters, informs revolt, and animates all great revolutionary carnivals for a while, until the bureaucrats consign it to the prison of hagiography. The city boundaries have their origins in motions of trade. The Hermstone, the boundary stone between two cities, sacred to Hermes, patron of thieves and poets, would be the site at which trade exchanges would take place. At a certain point, the site of trade moved into the center of the city, creating the market, in effect turning the whole place inside out. The old boundary was now hemmed in by the walls of the city, and everything that took place was defined by the act of speech of trade. The act and speech of trade. In Charles I's reign, there were whipping posts for beggars every few hundred yards in London. Here's another quote from oh God, I don't know how to pronounce this. Albeezer Copy. Thou hast many bags of money, and behold now I come as a thief in the night, with my sword drawn in my hand, and like a thief as I am, I say, deliver your purse, deliver, sir. Deliver or I'll cut your throat. Yeah, boy. To use no violence on any citizen or animal on the surface of the ground. At the border, imagined, motor, lore, at this side, stun border mountains and goods and hands and cannons offered. Over there, guitars, even heather, grass wired, as one year becomes. A closing eye becomes daisy knot, words in fist traders' mouth becomes travel music line. Our customers' games uphold myth, our gibberish twist in possession, give offence a full passport. In eye closed a different law. Copper mouth prevents and silence, necklace speech of winds in approaching on rock ledges. Shadows, this silence, cavernous hiss, a second becomes a decade. Closing eye, where wind collects in forced pools. Faust's pools? Spools? Fuck. Sean, why are you doing this to me? Okay, I'm gonna have to look this up. This of all the things that I have encountered so far, it looks suspiciously like it's supposed to be a word. But is it? Okay. Canary woof. This is a blog. Damn it! It's an article on this book. That's what I've found. Nice, thank you. Okay. Well, that didn't help. All recorded, hands in pocket, waved through. Enjoy your stay, Spurt. Violent river, smoke, the territory, alien, Canning Town, glass, mile hand, river, Holborn, 1460. All recorded, all strange. Sir, I am a stranger in this town. I am eaten well at the flings. Come, let me be your money, be your land, your paper. Come right with me. Come bone my jaw. Flint residue under human streets and silence reordered. The territory, stone, glass, smoke. Wired passengers, program, clouds, glyphs. Let me be your money. Voices, echo, ones. At the Murthau Eve were as be beacon, 'cause owl are give mir flint residue, 'cause under ice coil voices give under Eve his voice jaw claws come live gi mir, and I will be your land. Thou will bound hole burn oil of lunacy like strange sparrows twist in possession, a choice divide to excite impulse, motion, flowing, flow. Liquid, a teaching, an amber, to divide, to break, the drone of ages, to consume, I, to be that wall. I could be that wall. It's a bad thing for a girl, for a boy to be a wall. Heart stir, heart hair, earth, like 3 a.m., the dog taxis blaring, living, wanton, kissing, like rain is, footsteps, beak print, neon, obsolete semantics of night town, some kind of illegal drinking club is intended, my wanton ribbon, angle of vision, kiss my, is taxi blaring skewed, hurtle, miss my, riot is closure, earth, teeth kisses, my flesh, my neon, my plaguey neon, plaguing, 3 a.m., heart hair will rent a simple room, earth air kisses, obscure semantics of night town, of mantic, air in and announce the cracks, ribbon kisses, the cracks in the earth, my are the voice, flesh in flint residue, heart in, under heart is voices, static under voice jaw, come live, and I will be your land, will bound whole, semantic, burn by kisses, the voice is below. Coughs, gulps, bubbles, growls, a network of streets is the palm, such architecture. Rolling cars and nettles, telephone interrupts, is stars. Stars and slurry, taxi, disappears, the corner is rain, wheel is phantom, and road the light is, on it will rain, God. Horse over rustin, whippin' Tom crack, broken, cold as heart hair, teeth, raven strangely turning, turn the toms a cold, broken, distant horsehead, silver, rustin, rises, rusted, money, mystery, money, rusted Tom, a money, bedlam, blistered, mystery, rust, the rain, a circle, Tom, the taxi, ravens, burning. Okay, I have no idea what's going on here, but this is very evidently sound play. I think some of these words I was struggling to get at earlier are, yeah, it's like very tightly coiled, those sound patterns. Okay. Confessional poetry. In 1649, the year the king was executed, is this the guy from earlier? Abiezer Cope stood up at the pulpit of a church somewhere in central London and swore without interruption for an hour. Clearly a lost avant-garde classic. George Fox, however, was horrified that men and women should be brought to place their religion in revelling, roaring, drinking, whoring, and the fearfulest cursing that hath ever been heard. And a few years later, Anne Bates of Morpeth was accused of having transformed herself into a cat. Wow, cool. Hare, greyhound, and a bee. And a bee. I mean, would you want to be a bee if you could be a cat? I shall go into a hare with sorrow and sighing and mickle care, and I shall go in the devil's name, aye, till I come home again. The hare, one of only 2 edible animals ever tabooed in Britain. The hare in the saying, the shadow in the meaning. Of Morpeth, 1673, held to her mouth a hare, said my imp's names are dream. In say no to eating of that flesh, my imp's names are Vinegar Tom, said confess. After several minutes was taken and put in a bag in the earth in a fire, was put in a needle, was broken, was put in a hood, was thorn-hand bastard Ishmael, was judged by the tooth of the vicious, was stretched on the law of the mighty, was picked clean by roosters and blues, was ground to dust, was melted to glass, held fast in the walls of the mighty, was a mirror, was held broken and fast was the glass, and what was drunken. Ambate, 1673, confess Morpeth, the dreaming long black coat that devil protect them, call it God or crack, to call the bone a hare, to say no to eating of the flesh, to say it hurts to be, but announce an bait will form a cat, then be a hare to run them, will not see their she and hare held up to smile. Been walking from hares, walk to barracks, being give a piece of money, a circle of bread. Oh, Barrack Street. I thought a saint for some reason. Barrack Street. Being given a piece of money, a circle of bread, been given 2 bottles of ink, drink of ink to make my vein, a glass of palm, been making my hurts, its walking, leave a print, and scared at night for what may cross my path may cross. That was very, very narrow, that one bit at the end there. Okay. And here we have some chunks and some bits that are trying to escape across the page. She moves through the fair. Ah, it's one of my favorite songs. Honestly, it's a sight to weave consensus of window broken where a face should be. What to say to break that power and tawdry magic is old newspapers on Berwick Street air, depositories of sound arrange such awareness as geometry, ghosts, characters, fictions, burst their paper, flame to inhale, hoof ash, and grow tumours. What fracture in the teeth? Any city like has shops are dust or dream hole. She moves through the fair, and has been doing for years, and longing develops habits, and join the dots yourself. Every solid is in theory, reality is. Every day I invent a name to live inside. Who the hell is Vinegar Tom talking in tongues and dropping me in it? The hour of dawn is trespass. Air where you live is a knuckle of the river, talks at night. My imp's name will walk through the fair with. When I was a jackal machine, I split minds. When I was a wave, a tower on a hill, a hole in the ground, I would cackle and roar at your jewelry and riches, you bourgeois sons of bitches. With my bitch breath I whelping, nail my talk to ocean leaves, windows, every day ice cry. Oh, thank God, a chunk in one place. Every day I say, where the hell is imp number 1? Okay, sorry. We just started watching Picard, which is a show set in Jean-Luc Picard's retirement. And we're on like episode 3. It's pretty good so far. But if you haven't seen it, he has a dog, which is a little happy pit bull called Number 1. So yeah, where the hell is imp number 1? Every day I say, where the hell is imp number 1? Way of being fantastic. Every day I sniff my nails. Sky moss. Every say, who the hell are you, poet number 3 with eyes stitched? And every day I walk through the door and punch my way through till what ties together lips and tongue, till sex is theory and time a liquid to wash my what time is it 3 a.m. and we've all drowned. Every day I get out of town, my bracken imp will stalk his voice with flames and rope. Every day I say, stop burning me. As she unlapped, she clawed right Anne bait of Morpeth. 1673 held to her mouth the meaning every day she moved through the thorn fair every say she speak like crow meaning thinned. Oh, the meaning is no I is me, no I is imp number 1 is a crackle in the earth, is hearing hair and thorn flood every day endeth and walking through Ambate in the evening moves over the lake, dry shod a yard above, meaning every day I say confess and claw writing a cackle in the eye, every say meaning is I is meaning is thorn noises, every day the meaning is noise, as she moved through the fair, dry shod a mile above ground, took it and sold. In the evening moved over the lake is a swan in the song, does that. And now it's bait. Okay, let me see. I don't know how much longer I have the room. How much is in the next bit? Okay, quite a bit. Okay, it's like next one we have like 55 to 84. Okay. I think I'm going to pause now and resume tomorrow. Our next section is Poisons and Their Antidotes, written 2001 to 2003. Okay, that's been very fun so far. I think I've read for like 45 minutes so far. I gotta find a little poem thingy to stick in my. So basically, everything is a bookmark. there's no sacredness. If it's around and it's flatter than vaguely flat, it goes in the book, and will never be seen again. I literally just now I was looking through a book of Blake complete writings. I got a squillion years ago when I was like 17. I was thinking of reading that one tonight, but the text is really, really tiny, and my eyes are already tired, so that was not working too well. And I found a. Let me see if I can find it again. Yeah, put it in the book here. I found a plane ticket from back when I was 17 from a friend who had come over to visit from America, and I had completely forgotten all about it. It was the first person to read Neruda to me. I think maybe he introduced me to it, I can't remember, but he was reading it to me in Spanish because he was Cuban American. And that was the first time I really fell in need with a poet, I think. Like, you know, that obsessive need where you kind of like, this particular voice, this particular kind of sound bath is something I must have over and over and over again. Thank you, autistic brain. I'm just gonna play this song for you until you hate it. Thank you. It was a nice memory, actually. Yeah, and just I still can't say I understand Sean Bonney's poetry yet in the traditional way there is to understand things. But one thing I have learned is that a lot of people are pretending like they understand what the fuck is going on, like a lot of the time. And in the poetry world, that is like through the fucking roof. Like no one wants to admit they have no idea what the fuck is going on. It's like the uncool thing to do. I don't have a problem with that. I haven't really come from a background of a lot of formal education, or well, I never really got on with English cultural norms of, it's very statusy here. I mean, okay, it's very statusy in most places, probably all places, but in different ways. I am digressing. I am the ginger digression, and we are going quite far from the point, which I have now forgotten where it was. But yeah, I feel so far my experience of Sean Bonney's work, this work, which is quite, I mean, it's still Sean Bonney-ish, but it's quite different from the first one I read was shit. Sorry, dropped my thing. The first one I read was Happiness, which not only is it much later work, I think, yeah it is, but I also had that kind of academic-y, discussion-y introduction to kind of like teasing apart the logic, some of the logic of how Sean maybe constructs his poems and thinks and what makes it to the page, and the order of. I find that a lot of the ways of tripping over my brain here, a lot of the ways of trying to make sense of what's in front of me comes from like I try to understand the patterns of the mind that's made them and try and figure out that logic and what they're paying attention to, what they value, what's important to them, all those kind of things. So I'm not anywhere really near that with Sean's work right now. I'm experiencing it as a kind of sound bath, which I do need. I mean, I think he's definitely one of those poets that's like not really optional for me anymore. He's become part of the brain landscape. But I think I have a long way to go in terms of like having this all be a bit more transparent and being able to appreciate it a bit more. And okay, baby, I'll let you out in a second. Hang on. Mommy's just finishing talking to herself. It's okay. Where was I going? I don't know. Yes, I hope you enjoyed this bit so far, the sound bath. I have heard some of Sean Bonney's readings, and he's a remarkable reader, very unique and interesting and passionate. And I'm kind of glad that I haven't heard this work being read, or if I've heard any bits of it, they've gone in one ear and out the other because my memory is terrible, so I've forgotten it. So, because I think sometimes when you have a really strong mental voice and then you have a strong physical voice, it can be difficult for people to engage the work without being hijacked by those voices. Does that make any sense? I don't know. You can't really argue with me anyway because you're not here. Ha! I'll resume reading tomorrow. Good night, everyone, and I hope you're having a good day. Hi, it's me again. It is let me see, 18:53. That's an ugly number. I shall tell you the time in a minute when it's not ugly. On the 11th of November, 2020, 11/11/2020 is extraordinarily beautiful. So that'll make up for the ugliness of the time. What was I going? Right. I have, let me see, apple cinnamon tea again. And it's 18:54. That's much better. And Verona is in here, actually, by, well, where my feet would be, but I'm sitting on them on top of the heat blanket in a nest of like 2 duvets and a blanket and 3 pillows, and like properly nesting right now. And she's just woken up. She's been in here for a good few hours having her big sleep. She's now cleaning her legs. Hey, Vernie. No, I'm being ignored. Okay, so where were we last time? Since then, at least I don't think I talked about it before, there's been some news about a potential vaccine. Well, it's more than potential, it's gone through to stage 3 and been very successful. And I think maybe then it's just a matter of time, hopefully, before we can kind of go back to normal ish. Hopefully people still wash their hands a bit more than before. And maybe we can start looking at meetups and things in the summer next year, doing events and stuff again. That would be nice. I was just talking to my friend earlier, and she said, I can't believe it's been like, what, 9 months since we've actually seen each other. Just this whole year feels like it has and yet hasn't happened. It's been like being in a waiting room, kind of purgatory of sorts. Yeah, especially major life events. I mean, we graduated and didn't have a graduation. Well, there was an online kind of thing, but I don't think anyone really went. Anyhow, finding the glasses. So where were we? In blade pitch control unit. Poisons, their antidotes. 2001 to 2003. The management consultant has gone for lunch. Walked through Vauxhall Cross to Obelisk the Gull, to Cleopatra the Gull, on Sunshine, on Pastry Round the Gutmouth Walk, the Gull Walk, up Villiers to Cross and on, up West the Rampires and Hellrakes and leaves falling, and light falling, and walking on unshine. Cough twice and on cough blister, walking on cheek blister. But then sunlight, park mercuric sparrows, orange berries emerging. The park was something to the spout gulls, to bind the eyes, interact in tin sparrows, a deadline, walking on the masonry quarter, in all these rooms, these pits of glass, it's hard to see a fuck like a cannibal, in veins you could swim down, and don't be so rude, in what the outside, the world is walking on, gloat face is walking on unshine, up the Charing Cross and derail at Greek Street, derailed by restaurant hours, and who the hell are these launching on day mob of an onward gullback is Bakunin's secret network of roast pigs. The betrayals are arches and bridges built of glass sharp squirrel fox shards. From clay build a monster to walk with. Only at noon. Night cries, abandon the world for a dose of celebrity theory. Up west at the word. Up to Greek Street. Derailed. Night cries. I like drinking coffee and talking about swearing. Moonspit. Hieroglyphic. The betrayals are head or heels. Bakunin. Toothless and haunted. And equate the war with some child repeatedly gobbing in his own face for a whole half hour. Mercuric. Nets. That stars are bankrupt and magazines will keep us warm. Ignition. As we develop a fear of gulls, of what they know, what we don't know. And this is, so shut it. Once I had a money, blew it all out on tobacco and silver lining, splash veins, anarchism, was just a suggestion. Red sky at night means we're in choke pairs, shopkeeps, abandon the world for a host of breaking suns, for a splash vein. Up Tottenham Court was all field, and where I was all marsh gas. No one will consider. The import, the nation is, choke pears, rampires and hellrakes, where I live, all cop breath is, everybody is, orange berries, with a dose of patriotic blister, and leaves crawling, and light crawling, and everybody is just like voice 1, blah, voice 2, blah. Walked for a Vauxhall cross, only the footsteps, the crackling sky lit up and torn as paper is. This paper, rain stuffed on Greek Street, recalls terror, or was that litter, weary and tired? In the shop doorways, tattered daub the sky with one more coffee. Old Compton Street, teach me new swear words, tearing the tears from voice 1. Blank. Mercury is on New Oxford Street, Bakunin in feather and windows for a dose of. Mercury is fireground for a dose of. What I say is up Berwick Street for second-hand CDs, and sanctity is moonspit. Or was that backgammon? Voice 1. Hold out till the engine comes. Image. Hand. Outstretched. Alack. The face of. Voice 5. Laughter, laughter. Voice 1. Lennon-McCartney. Voice 2. The bomb is the echo of your cannon, trained upon our starving brothers, the shriek of those maimed and torn in your corporate slaughterhouses. 'Tis the shadows of the crisis, the rumbling of suppressed earthquake. Image. Blank. Image. Laughter. Image. Blank. Up west for a dose of sunlight, park mercuric sparrows, orange berries emerging. The park was something to spout gulls in to bind the eyes intact in tin sparrows. The deadline, walking on the masonry quarter in all these rooms, these pits of glass, it's hard to see the fuck like a cannibal and veins you could swim down in. Don't be so rude. In what was the outside. The world is walking on gloat face, is walking on unshine. Image. Blank. Image. Blank. Image. Tin sparrows. Image. Blank. Image. Gulls. Image. Blank. Image. Blank. Image. Blank. It is not terror. The sadness is the. Okay. I'm in kind of like. I say that was kind of a difficult one to warm up with. It is very spatially complicated, as well as kind of interrupting itself, and felt a bit more comfortable once the repetitions kicked in, but we had a lot of capitals, gulls, fuck like a cannibal, moonspit. Yeah. Oh, it looks like the visual spatial stuff is going to continue. I'm just gonna have to go for it. But I wanted to look up who I may have probably pronounced it wrong. There was a person in here who kept repeating, and I did not know who they were. Bakunin. Let's have a Google. Okay. 1814 to 1876 was a Russian revolutionary anarchist, socialist, and founder of collectivist anarchism. He is considered among the most influential figures of anarchism, a major founder of the revolutionary socialist and social anarchist tradition. Okay. So, where does he first show up? I think this is really difficult to read from the book. It's in like, what is this, like A6 or something? Or A5? I don't know. It's small. I think this kind of would be interesting to see on a massive like poster. You could kind of see all of it together. Maybe in it almost feels like one where you could do it in panels that kind of stick together as a massive poster, like an A3 or whatever. No wait, that's smaller. No, that's bigger. A big one. And you could maybe move them around like that B.S. Johnson book, because there's so much repetition and it kind of feels strangely simultaneous. Okay, so he appears first on the 3rd page of this poem. Who the hell are these lynching on day mob of an onward gullback is Bakunin's secret network of roast pigs. The betrayals are arches and bridges built up glass, sharp squirrel fox shards. Okay. Secret network of roast pigs. Okay. I think I'm gonna have to look at this a little more carefully. Yeah. There's a lot I'm not getting the hang of here. Probably will explain the form. Okay. You ready, Fernie? You going back to sleep? It's like I'm trying. Someone keeps talking to me. I'm sorry, Tiki. Okay. Paul Verlaine reads poems on Old Compton Street. Ah, fuck. Right. Said Starspin, your mouth is spit stars, said Ack, sea rise, city race, said ill play, or said dance machine, con ill, said pea loot, kel itch, k pain, ka, said oil brute, eat soil, said oil chant, delete, play, and Dean Street corner, all true, where media stops, where breath begins. Stop, calcify, form, null, treason. If you draw a line from to your ribs will align with, cracks will form with, berg will beak, will frith, will myth crack, mouth rack, will monuments are. Verlaine read poems, and the commune was betrayed, buried up to its neck in pavements, walked on, kicked in. And what year is this? Sensory, what street is this? The table grain, orky, a refuge in candlelight and reason in spit stars. Fading, the voices fade, kel itch, key pain, this is information. What we want is class war. This report to be slipped inside paperback books and waterstones. My life has always been on the corner of two worlds. I saw what I still see. Oi, brute, I am not the only one of my kind. Null treason. Oi, brute, null treason. I don't know very much about Verlaine. I know he was a French poet. I think I've read a couple of his in translation. It's interesting, this kind of... Sometimes I feel like Sean is having a very intimate dialogue that he feels only really able to happen with people who aren't there, who are dead, and therefore not disappointing in a way. They can become kind of, I don't want to say containers, but like beacons of hope, I suppose, that forms of integrity of being are possible without being compromised. I'm not sure what I'm talking about here. Okay. Expulsions. Turn the heater off. Easier said than done when you've cut your fingernails. Expulsions on Marchmont Street with coffee. I am not George Bush, overheard this. on coffee. I do not have to wake up in the morning. I do not decide, was saying this, to stop it. Removing my coffee did not awaken me. My ink was what my face was not. To eat or say, to eat or close the door or say I love, or what, or say I love to stay. Oh, but Kiernan, Heraclitus, and all the rest, and to say coughing, hair up. Is there more coffee, or are we still talking? The coffee cup and steam. Where cloth is the coffee cup and piss. The cloth is hidden or hands. So what a face is not, or what hidden or hands, or does it mean to say I am not George Bush? I did not have to think. For what does broken into Marchmont Street, the stream where coffee is, where lips are, this is hidden. I am not, am I, coffee, or it is a vocal wants me to leave, did not awaken, or to leave, did not breaking decision, or to drink some coffee, to say, to drink some Bakunin, to say Heraclitus, to drink some ink behind the hand is where the piss is, where the lips are. No, I am not. And as for you, this is a coffee shop, fundamentally for eating, for closing the door, and steam is for listening, things to love, like coughing hair, and like coughing and not talking, and like a hand does what not talking, not mean what this is, a hand does what does not piss. Even coffee does not, if you are not even coffee, George Bush, it does not mean I think and piss. The things you imagine, the death of really evil men. Yeah, I hope you die, George Bush. Can't say plainer than evil, can't say plainer evil streets or trembling lips are love where milk is steam and lips are words to love. Oh, Heraclitus, would not this coffee to love, would not this words to lip, this words, this coffee, I don't want to leave. And what will steam the door? Will say, I'm not, will say, awaken, this is not a face. Is Marchmont Street a place to tremble or love, decide to stay? I had fun with that. I didn't exactly read it in order though, because it's a bit all over the page. Be interested to see his process sometimes with some of these pieces. I mean, it's obviously different for each piece, but there's I'm feeling a kind of overarching tendency to firstly to play with what are they called? Oh no, I'm gonna sneeze. Homophones, and also associations that sound like the ends of phrases or sentences are expected. So you have an expected phrase or string of words, whatever, like in a song, like walking on sunshine, and then he deletes a bit, like he says walking on unshine, I think. And it's not just the S is gone, he's hyphenated the un to the shine. So it's yeah, kind of reversed in a way. Like sun is very present. I mean, there's a lot of associations with the sun, but sometimes he seems to then take what would be like, in this instance, the sunshine, and go like I'm walking on gold mine. Like you can kind of trace it backwards, and it's interesting, right? Yeah, there's definitely a lot of play going on in some of these, which is a very, I don't know, it's a I want to say it's a complicated relationship when you're talking about like anarchism and politics and that, but I don't think it is really. I think I believe in that phrase. Fuck, I can't remember what it is now. Something about intelligence being the mind having fun, you know, like play is a form of intelligence. I definitely feel a kind of an angry but hopeful intelligence behind these works that I've heard that idea that behind cynics are burnt idealists, and I wouldn't be surprised if he fit into that sort of idea. Anyway, poisons, their antidotes. 1. At Turnmill Street, indeed, Ferny Bray, a grass-green silk, Ilka Tate, 50 silver bells. Fear of strangers, that name does not belong to Locked Hale. In brass howls on a red wind churning over bodies wind. I have no understanding what that was. It just inhabited my body for a moment, but I don't know, didn't feel able to really form a relationship with it, which is strange. But there's more. This is a series, sequence, whatever. It got numbers in it. 2. Imagine a clockmaker split. Imagine all the persons eating raw stars, raw pop-up wastrel. Fuck, I read that as weasel the first time. Raw pop-up weasel. The end of the land is like my gobshite. I wish I had a word for tide clamps, slash palms, furnace. The end of the world is boring, boring. Tide laps, tick-tick. Tide clamps, way silence, rain slick punctured 25 sparrows. Now, 3. Surveillance shard, act out, tongue below camera, tongue act. This is webshine. Now pitch to stutter, carve it, cars insist on street gob, cotton, lights. The street is owls, as maze clamped, split hydrogen daisies is footsteps, the sucking spider in Westminster. The sucking spider in Westminster. 4. Locked boil. There's so many punctuation marks here that I'm honestly okay, it's only really because I'm being recorded with the intention to share this with friends, but I'm getting very self-conscious about how to sight read this because there's no pre-established thing I can lean into, so it's very exposing, I think, in a strange way. Wait, we gone from 4 to 6? Yes, we have. You've deleted 5, you naughty boy. Where did 5 go? 6. 4 also ends before the page ends. It's just literally locked, and then a colon, and then a right brackety thing, you know, the curvy ones. Boil. But it's not closed, it's left open. Incomplete sets are so stressful in some way. It's like opening loads of tabs in your brain. You can't look at them, and you can't know what they are, and you can't close them. It's done that in number 2 as well. Here in unfinished set is the end of the world is boring, boring. Tide laps, tick tack, tick tick. Tide clamps, and then another one. Way silence, and another one. Rain slick puncture, 25 sparrows. Another one now, and then boil. Maze clamped in number 3 is actually closed off. So there's no 5, and 4 on page 73 ends abruptly with quite a lot of space below it. Well, a fair amount. There is space below it, more than there would be normally. 6. Sparrows injected. It is making maps in locked boil, in taxi light, in sound block. For 3 days now, a spine. Everything. Blisters. Split and all of feathers bursts. Oh, to turn around, win big money, spend it like strike blister. For 3 days now, scratching in, and that's just a word for sparrows. 7. Police lines, meaning entryway to pop stars. Like my one more fuck pig. This is an shard. Rooms where diagrams rust. Tide lap. Police line, meaning shootout. Seek and celebrities cancelled. Pural. Sneaker. Smile. You're on. 5 minutes 28 seconds to boil a pot of water. Break window. Winter. Boil. Seconds. 8th of December. Okay. More of the same behavior. And winter is the only one enclosed on both sides, not just opened. Oh, well, there's also a space here. It kind of set a brackets above shard. This is an open bracket, then nothing, and then open bracket, space, like an inch and a bit, and then close bracket. And it's like silence is contained, breath, unspeakableness, absence, pure possibility. Oh no, I was reading that as like an in-breath because I used this form of punctuation before to, I was talking about, how was it? Assault, yeah. And I was using it to articulate the kind of shock when you don't really have words because something's it's too painful to or complicated to have to speak it. It's not necessarily that you can't, I mean, there are different kinds of silences, right? But it's not necessarily that you can't point to the thing and say in literal terms, this and this happens, doesn't happen, whatever, this is what it is. Like, you could give someone a bunch of nouns or whatever, but there are other kinds of silences, like when you know that it's like a projected future silences is one where you know that by speaking you're going to be experiencing violence as retribution for that speech. Then it's a kind of like your voice starts suffocating itself. That can be expressed as like there is a form, but all I can give you is the start and the stops of it. I can give you the surrounding elements, but I can't tell you what's inside it, or I can't even tell myself what's inside it, like in the case of lost or repressed memories or whatever. We're going on a slight digression here. Yeah, that's why I read that as a breath in, like trying to return to your body or steady yourself. But I'm acknowledging that's imported, and I think I would have to spend a lot more time with these poems and his overall mind to figure out how these make more sense to sound, rather than just superimposing myself on top of them. Not that there's anything wrong with that, it's just you can't really get to know someone that way, except for the ways that you create dissonance and unharmonious sounds kind of refracting off each other. 8. Rain slick punctured 25 sparrows. Way silence, wet pavements, loose bricks, things. Particles expanding, light desperation end at street sounds of Baghdad emerge. Cynical, bone, tourista, load, cynical, bone, we should be, bone, tourista, blast with 1 equals 1 is what we want is Donald Rumsfeld, Tommy Franks, their blood. The end of the world is listening to after the riot watched us on TV on. It's plain our civilization has an obsession with shortening time on Thorny Wire. The city in these, the police are real, your favorite band will now be, buy it now, be Boylfink, everyone in, change. Got 10p more. Got more than sing, sing. I love the sound of this year's idiot smiles, a box of things to eat and fuck. Overpriced, use your debit card to glue rib to. American idiot, box of overpriced things to glue persons, wet bricks, loose behind the eyes. 5 minutes, 28 seconds to think about cashback. Sliced clocks are, could never happen here, are freedom of speeches. Burn, baby, burn. My lips are stained. What speech is, all our tongues are, wish, but had a word for lips, but all our tongues are, wish, but had a word for slice, for clock our freedom is, a murderer's fucking head. Okay. 1 second, I need to put Verna next door. Okay, I'm back. Right. So, the last one, where were we? Something was changing. Come here, glasses. We are moving on from the brackety behavior. I mean, we still have some, especially another pause in a bracket right before 1 equals 1 is. This is very difficult to give impressions of without being able to share the visual text. I think maybe I have not chosen a very good book to explore together in this format, but we're halfway through it now, so. And what started to be introduced is little dashes at the end of our small lines, as if the word is half finished and you're running over to the next line. In like this here. Sliced clocks are, and a little dash. Could never happen here, and a little dash again. Are, same. Freedom of speech is, and it keeps going on like that. Actually, the whole rest of the poem, after 5 minutes 28 seconds to think about cashback, it's like thoughts interrupting themselves. 9. How many lives has the government burned? Contamination of reason, or names are frayed around the ingratiating table, demands your hooked hands by reason of what? Red sky at night means the earth's on fire. Red sky at night means the earth's on fire. Gold prices rise as lies in Parliament today resume echo itch. Those who require life would live without new moon contamination. Those who would are corridors open to existence. Doubt his howled hands, hook burns the living room, lethal virus, the new middle class. This BP announces megawatt officials eat the North, development and business. Discuss to protect thwack impact. Revealed. Cormorants croak in Taurus potential at a dry rot level. O new moon, one of the darkest, claim a free strong wind. A barren nation to read and rot is virtue, is gorged loop, is sharpening wires. O new fanged head. Okay, next one. 10 marching music. This is all in caps with those dashes at the end of the line, of each line, every line, but they're longer. Maybe it's more like the dashes are also capitalized. I feel like I always need quite a lot of energy to kind of sight read and make sense of Sean Bonney's work. I don't know why. Marching music. Have tongue will travel, and what have you done? Violence is sentiment, fuck-coloured plume. And what have you done, you fairies boiled? Have tongue will travel, as Gareth Gates says. 1, 2, 3, 4, vowels interrupted, stains on the chancellor, C-tag, C-tag. And what have you done, you gates and walls, such as the cowardice? Fairies boiled, red sky, yellow sky, oh blush, oi, blush thorn prance. And what have you done, you 1, 2, 3, 4 stains on the chancellor? Bird noise, worm noise, red sky, yellow sky, have tongue will travel. And what have you done, you shit-faced goon, such as the cowardice? Red sky, yellow sky, as Gareth Gates says, violence is sentiment. 1, 2, 3, 4 claws track bone. Little birds, nothing. Sulphur is sentiment. Little birds, nothing. Sulphur is sentiment. Violence is sentiment. I guess sulphur is one of the smells of decay. 11. This speech made by Mr. Blair, Glasgow, February 15th, 2003. It's all in, bold. It's bolded. And there, it's cut up by colons, the way the Bob Cobbing one was, but it's not all in a block. It's in it's in several prosy blocks, but they're between like 1 and 5, 6 lines long on the page. And it just keeps going, and then there's some forward slashes as well. And some of the words are partially deleted. I'll see how this comes out. I am Tony a right moral insist war ordering ents. Yeah. And some equences are a protest. I asked opularit rice of re 500. I one arted so art can't ever be I exist Asian and is not it is a number the I tell you victim but tell again is moth it orant to forego. I am Tony, I live in honor, but he costs less still peace blood re on want us see the if we it is power a country democ this I at comment of convict hand that stand is then but there's screw to be in I tell victim tongue of moral ass desk eke to it the not only conflict people hate hurting so thin any rules of the vis how ruction void war roarists us invade appleback de April able hat at the ons of do so we of war mustly in pitch and soot in turds and piss in viper bile in squirming spawn. I am anemical. ath, monigents, wit, tongue licked, vice, ho, prill, pitch, a ming spa, yeah, t, rice, o, t, Asian, yeah, vict, go, I am, ye, rules, f, war, mu, bile, I am ton, and some im, in, beat, Tony, blah, peace, power, o, testin, mora, I live, blood, re, more, im, just, a, one, as, devoid, the, ons, in, turds, inst, war, I ask, and ever be, the number, the oth, uk, ar, be he, ant, us, o, the lurch, in pitch, the ons, of, mdof, war, must, la, ein, hat, so, we, o, ming, Spain, turds, and peacer, bile, in squirmed, suit, in vip, ording, opulari, I exit, I tell moral, protest, o, art, co, number, English with UGH, exclamation mark. 5th Screed, 2003 to 2004. Okay. All poetry that does not testify to an awareness of the radical falsity of the established forms of life is faulty. Understand prosody via black bloc tactics. There's a star here. Archaic reference unexplained. Okay. No one has yet spoken a language which is not the language of those who establish, enforce, and benefit from the facts. Language is conservative. Its conservatism issues A. from its utilitarian purpose, B. from the fact that the memory of a person, like that of humankind, is short. Stood. Once for 25 minutes, watched an owl peel a mouse. Ugh. That's disgusting. Stood. Once for 25 minutes, watched an owl peel a mouse. In London, we have a street. Fleas have bitten itself like the time I went blind on Wardour Street, where the trees all flickered like men. Stood once for 25 minutes, waiting for a chance to move in the nest, as if biting a lamp and vice versa. As if biting, stood once and watched a mouse, the fur and skin mess of maps, peeled, clasped in beak, in London trees, the voices leak, drip, 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 like bat soup or ant eros. Ant soars. But if they hadn't dropped bombs, he'd still have his arms and legs. The key word this morning is owl peel. Those fuzzy things are people. Today I will chew till juice runs. The key word this morning is fuzzy thing. Screech, 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 then shut your face. His arms and legs, the moving trees flicker. The key word is rational, derangement. He feels like a stranger here. Sorry for the country. Big dog. Sketched. A definition of infinity is a suck bracket pinned history slurp your button horn. Owl machines. That's vice burning on Lambeth Road. Musk twirl. Inhuman bridges. And accountants. Deadly machines. Questionable savagery, this sullen skull job, bright land. Same old thing. Tongue stuck in eye. Kiss. On the arse a tiny. Flags, lines of them, flags, taste like shit like lines of them, glimpse. That social life in London as tongue enters a colony or a spasm. Kiss him. Stick your cock in his ear. I mean, yeah, why not? Thin suns bleat, a black dot inside. The world has stabilized to move on, solidified. An iris gap seizure, total split. Mouse sounds. River cluster. His open mouth pours particle assortment, rotating in his hand. They gathered on Kennington Park, fell into a great noise. A city, a lattice of nameless fibre, seen from a distance, a flutter, a willow, a siren moan. A lattice of swallow screech, a waiting room, some Christians, some lions, some obvious points. A king of bitten clay, a scarab scrape, a scrape of water, a imp split. A king is a used rat, no, not even a rat, more a burnt finger. A scratched dog, a bone twitch, a skull in the supermarket, almost like in a bucket at seaside. This is a shop's burnt yellow gas. We drink it sliced in a furnace. The question is who made them killers. Clipping, hugging, embracing in a strange manner. Oh, sunflower, under all this heap of ashes, like a drunk man chewing down the loop slice. Oh, weary of stuff. A nice demure baron now staining honourable persons in fence streams. Fly track, negative to negative, magnetic repulse, a glyph jerk, shrink into stuck time, suck time. On all pause, raise entry, ground display. One fly will split a tiny eruption into open mouth, shutter star, amoebic surveillance hanging, fault. Another mouth stapled, magnetic rip. All the cops in this room are blue, scratched on the wall with a knife as data threaded. Insect cog decode the symbols as piss in his face. At 9:38 you hear voices. They say, "What is this?" Laugh now. This is a shop. Tie a ribbon round your glass scraps. You like these sirens. You like these glass scraps. This is a blue bottle. This is a skin clock. You like these long green pills, sulfur. Kiss skin clock. They have set up glass scraps like you like these spit boy sirens. Sulfur glass scraps. Clock time. Kiss sulfur clock time. Kiss scrap sulfur pills. You like this. They say, what is this? Spools, what do you love? Siren clench, kiss clock, who do you love? In the slashed cry, sulphur on his fingers, this is a shop, who do you? I have not yet driven him down. He has no machine inside his mouth. His name is not Lord Falconer. A limbic strip neutral wiring in the prism brain. Snout expands, a jewelry rip exploded. Downtown Dagenham, combustion snort. He collapsed in frame, distort, job split, do him. Skull, job split, stagger, extinguish. Piccadilly, smack beam. The bus stops here. I'm walking. Even that is unpermitted. Enabled history on the ant crawl, a cut voice. Swarm, a red disc split, the minimum you can spend on conversation or sting removal. A faint orange stents is from the coast. Try a night attack, call me peroxide, or just drove numbers. Eye rift, gull dust, synapse, lamp, stutter gap, open throat, slot, mercuric globe, thwart, inward or x-ray. Go siluriformis. Under his sucking eyes soldered hostwards. He wasn't sure what he acted, seized, returning from awareness, puncture at stable paradise, sealed. The details at times are as vague as burn screams. If they hadn't dropped bombs, bone screams. If anyone actually likes Oxford Street, groping for 1 second, totally blind, like ant sores. And that split is essential. Drip, 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 as if biting. And I'll put a razor to it. Essential is not vague. Keyword is Oxford Street, is burn screams. As detailed as that, as vague as clamped. Silver burst and pocket jerk, cash twist. All the trees are dead. 7 pop stars scattered in my coffee. Drip, drip. Shattered on the palace shot. Big dog, all the trees are bastards. Another cafe skinned. 3 coins. Drip, drip. Drip, spunk, chrome, and old tin. Puff, profits, grin. 3 coins. Big dog, all the trees are shot. Pop stars scattered in old tin. Drip on the palace blade. Big dog on the palace shattered in old tin. Cash purse. 3 coins. Drip, drip, drip. The words, "We are loyal employees," were spoken on Tuesday's news. In every doorway by token spans of huddled mist, invisible, created from coins, small ones, and storms of teeth, themselves being eaten in a block of solid rain, so that below your skin you would feel the cells break, smeared, all kinds of dirty pics, with designs on your spine as an economic diagram, recast as a roast flour, forced you into your fist as a way of saying, "We love your loyalty," your mouth, your erotic slot, a fingernail in your glans, a hand on your tongue, kin split, and in the doorways, petrol blistered, shadows, red wings, killdeer, thighs punched, in the system for audit, brown stoking even. I don't, for example, believe that all you need is love in a box. Starred, disordered smile in blue suit, expensive hair, honestly rearing noises, false. They strap the pincer gloves, they kill you for no love, drag and believe it's stupid. Glue keeps the face on for 90 minutes, stamped on the inverse side, rearing, coins drilled, palms outstretched. The click is on the phone. The click is on the phone. Is the thing in your throat is echo level at seizure rearing shudder. The furnace is not in the post. The collective dream is snapping price tag stamped. Where I thought I had to have these noises. And don't, for example, believe that. 86 him. He wasn't aware at this point just what the battery acid could do. What does it mean? Copyright in a landfill, encaged magnetic. He was filmed looking manic on a suitably edgy street and was famous. At this stage, it isn't clear if he has or hasn't loved. Should we name him? Mallard, glebe, twig. Music has been privatized, which means it's everywhere, like sperm. Music has been privatized, which means it's everywhere, like sperm. Split, sprayed and pointless, like trying to... I'm so tired. I can't deal with this today, Sean. Sprayed and pointless, like trying to fuck a window. The avant-garde is a gentrified zone. Its address, cash furnace. Pile it on him for several thousand units. Run him like a light bulb. His face in the magazines and his hand in considerable pain. Not just his glands. Limit him. He can only count to 26 and then he starts to starve. Kiss this man. Glue him. Show him everything. And keep the receipts. These pictures have come in lately under fingernails behind the eyes, mingled with code in the hair, cracks in the genome where you can slip it in and pump anything, margarine in a fist. And why was Mr. Blair jerking on Iraqi TV? His front teeth will take, if inserted in the slot, the whole light will flicker. He will still be that nameless substance that guards are paid to watch after. Make no mistake, the sky is not full of noise. The siren is not the point. Is these practices of which a flag is capable and predicts what happens to steel and glass and torn leather when gravity imits granite. by which I mean smiles of certain celebrities as if they were the weather itself, or attached like barbed wire, was invented as a radical alternative to firelight, just as NASA found a non-carbon life form in folded light and blast box turning into those pictures again, actually intersected by them, which is what is meant by ghosts, or electricity, or a minister looking upon these persons as if they were cattle bodies twisting, burning, penned in by. Click. Have a flower in your head, is others scraping into burst geography, craven fingers. Click. Glue magnetized. I don't want vinyl records. I want broken bone receptors. Fill in the form and leak it. We couldn't tell you if or not we are random radon clamps. Fuck my brain. Imps. Eyeballs. Or... yeah. I need to finish soon. Hang on, let's see. How many are left in this? Oh, loads of tiny ones! Loads of tiny ones, Sean! Why have you done this? 21. Okay, 10 more pages. Alright, I'm gonna do another 10 pages. And then... quit it for tonight. Glue magnetized. I don't want vinyl records. I want broken bone receptors. Fill in the form and leak it. We couldn't tell you if or not we are radon clamps or sparks encrusted. What are your secret desires wrapped in piano wire? Found under one of the bridges. Hold on. Does the traffic not worry you are? No. A big gate at the end of no. What does? You talking to. Gas lips. Branson's mouth imposed. Branson's mouth imposed. Branson's mouth imposed on boil your stupid racist throat. And he who wants to be adverts have walked in off the map in a code entryway to great big bag of pills. Long green ones to lick it. Start here. This is a love poem in 42 centimeters. Call that tattooed? I say, price gun! In bursts of fast rip, like bee talk, razor swing. I've given up trying to make sense of these, and I'm just having fun with them now. Bone sweat. Give a fast name for radial enigma bursting the neighbours, and I know what you mean about the verb to be as false name syndrome or those things that crawl on the leaves. The key word in any diagram is to eat. My full name is particularly glister, neutron stiff. He is closed like a beak. Is hope is a bourgeois word. Bone is a living tissue, which is a verb started as small mark. Forgiveness is a bourgeois conceit. So hanging, so is blazing, so is the city as noise. Reserves, split, acrylic bone, opened, 5-knuckle discount, fingered. You're so... Lids flicker. Sight crackle. The voice is ancient and summons a pit of fist. Repeat, playback, inner bone rot. Field angelic, whip crust, face replica down in the cock circuit radio propels. Glister, shout, curdled desire, and again. Broadcast bliss via rope and crane dissected on a roadside for quick relief, stitched, numbered, lash debates, tune in, yell for help as a price sticker. Let him speak. 3, 9. Pause to reject end. True muscles float on the stem, clamped in ghost meat. All the little pop stars are happy. The perimeter loaded. Forbidden bougie. The map of London is pure currency. Cigarette holes and bacon stains carefully etched, face itch forced through the eye, a groin salt scattered as torn glass, the masked caves on Oxford Street, memories overrated hostage stamp, why not? Sell your skin. Last week's offer will wipe your stinging face right off. If nothing is real means that cash is on full flow, as the fire in Hoon's belly is real furnace, and metals extend even unto his mouth, is the hole is the window, your hand bursts the sharp glints of light in the viscous street, voices scorched, a noxious shiver of pure code, stuttering, spurting its temper off the map itself, tongue rasp, factor, twitch. Last 2 pages. Survive commerce on 8/7. The solution? No, but this is Cheapside splurge. It's a limbic tin. Mailbox locked for Gaston. The sky is a long line of noise, or maybe settle 9. Be dust. And slice. Receive. Wonder. Why do they love that elemental face arranged like soap between thighs? Will flutter. Ceiling rip. The sky is clicks. Hit, remit. Matter. Nothing of importance has ever been communicated by being gentle with the public, and this particular public, which has been so totally deprived of freedom and which has tolerated every sort of abuse, deserves less than any other to be treated gently. Lick it. Lick it. Alright, catch you next time, where we will be reading Burnt Nickel from 2004 to 2005, and we're almost at the end of the book, so it's probably going to be our last one. Right, good night. Hello, it is 1841 on the 13th of November 2020, and we are rounding the last bit of Sean Bonney's blade pitch control unit, hopefully, in this recording bit. Burnt Nickel, 2004 to 2005. It is all squiggly down the page. We start with ... Very kind of, and then it ends on the page with ... It's kind of looks a bit like a tornado, kind of caught in the middle of it. Morally, certain whipcord assembles blank hydrocarbons for fist display, your thigh, parting, arranged on the right side, pass on, my sweet, ibuprofen to bitter, ground self-dumped in the fear flask, a penny sharpened as salt ended in split rock, the imaginary foam of those who would brand, dream, and sculpt the red disc threaded rock, parted and chewed. We understand there is something divides graphic charts from monotheism, as an echo chamber wherein it is still the 1970s in bleached form inhabits the body, pump on the fear floor, glamour of twisted wire receptors, belief in identity of proto-conglomerate symbolism, trying to find a bin to puke in, below ground, demand protection for sex dolls, as human, at pitch of bone relief, walking pronouns, as tender molecules enlist the truth vow. Recuperate sex doll, position swallow, the pink stone's fiscal body twitch, enlist planets as fricative rising plastic awareness, the morality arteries coil inside your loyalty card, fried love. At the outset, insurgents expected later. Social climbing among metals pits stereo transgressors against refugees from the pulse. It's a real splinter, home for the alphabet, home of the smug, compression. These people are vulgar and cannot, will not, use the correct trough, are unavailable for use to lick out. In his system the stars are polished and creak melts of wax on their patents, thumbs down for the grandee's claim. A free film crew crushed at the border. If the people won't speak, we can stitch their empty mouth. The name of the game is hog gruel. Get that drilled in the palm of the earth's shrunken pit, held up as exemplary city centre aflame and watched by robots twitch. Their message will not be adhered. Behind glass, we write the word on our arms like little squirts collapsed in the social cardiac day job. That the police station as system has extended into the earth and electric waves inoculate visually, it crackles, is internal, extends, tyramine palm arc, crack, in dirty protest, sponsored by the cooperative bank, is metric spark, is metic spark, is wasp cygnus, is under arrest, is the point not to ask who, but what are you? Another couple of tornadoes. Consumerism speaks only in the products it can clasp within its skin. Is fence-proof along the fault scale, eat what you were told and when, what was inevitable, starward claw, adjust to bailiff cognition. Dog togs and emblems of scenic hatred from outside the position. Try to keep it in your fist. Is warm and giving bacterial knowledge as shudder, cardiac jism, as museum storage, shred it. Rampant codices, reinsert leopard print, the crowd in the shape of a triple X, squirting wire technique, grinding echo spit to dot, squirt, to ivy, compressed mouth, the juice ditch, your tongue, at the perimeter where the town folds, cop disc, reeled in, at entrance to the public mouth frozen, and unlived socialism woken by a knock on bailiff script, pledged to chew lip for only 5 decades. On cell wall, Cygnus, interruptus, you will stay here, stamped for 5 years, interwhip, chord semblance, crouch, inside gravity, field, ejaculate, the furnace equals 2, 3, on the blast, organ, do not suck, do not use tooth, oscillators, repair image of owls eating London in slow motion, circuit, awareness, clamps, halogen, faders, arranged on the tube plan, nostalgia triggered by human dust. I'm a human, fly, I say, buzz, buzz, buzz. Verdict. Beg neighbour, as a piss squeal, we are pathetic too, and would invent a big cannon in the spot post office was a rivet, glowing. Pause. The room is zone exclusion open at the Brown River impact. Pretty ones pressed into rock formation, tiny as plugged follicles. Some better scratched, tampered into, policy screw, brown wet stuff, and photographed. The bottom corner is now a kernel, flying, simmer 4 hours, and lick all over clock pattern, internal, raindrops, crack, pain, until it's made legal and injected, slow and nasty. As the sky is leaking, radio stutters till J-Lo equals Brixton Resort, beg spectacle, thread chrome torque scrape, the rivet was scraped, denied surgery for reason of ugly fire in the heads of think is possible. Ugliness tightened till statue falls, the footfall on. They all had a big job to do. He was a big job. Took 8 feet under ribcage scalpels. Got him. Stamp screw coupons. Body landfill equals £20 worth. Vision market plus rigged arthropods equals rock formation. But what he expects is rigged, as a neural function, is best poisoned. Spine separates into 1, what we were told to know, and 2, what is closed into the job ditch as a steel gag. Beg now. No throat to speak or clarify social climbing as disappointment registered. So 3, stone equals camera. Do not project it on metal. It is possible to discover any person in any part of the world when hidden, when alive and dead. Una King. Halt. If you say like maybe destroy rock and roll is pointless like feudal system and as relevant, halt. You live there, as in index equals last month's interior rock and roll gets defensive, panic juice replayed as if to say gas, as if resistor circuits and code, tongue archive, get it, there, eat it, is, tithe collapse frequency, as if halt. If you say, here's some things to do with metal wire, here's some things to do, reclaim dereliction, in the center, vortex simulation, reset science as flood archive equals service industry with tiny stimulant structures. Busk isolation as strum ideas inside Capital's head moving without severed letters to speak. His master's voice includes pastime gone to the wall, as if interior echoes circuit where the hand is placed dialectically damaged by fingernails screech. What solid bone wants is not to be left alone, equals memory guards as if halt, as if each celebrity's potential for deterioration breaks, circuit shrinks, granite density, a voice opens, or if you say what destroy rock and roll would even mean at genital level. Broken, a vote for freedom, broken on cobbled, broken sieges, bubbles, and just as quickly televised, pleasuring its own transgression as if anything could be as boring, strapped down, poor fucker. Consider the Marxist tradition as chloroform gash. Halt. Be surprised. Say bang. Ask what flicker equals bang. Repeat bang. Consider the imperialism of frozen bellies shipped into the mouths. Repeat! As if music was this useless. Feedback has entered the word bibliography, tunneled into airplay, disturbed by the night watch, is what is said, licking cum off his own face. In Cash buzz stops, his itching fist falls. Nothing falls. Abrupt flashes wipes radio wrapped in wire strings inside a mouth. His mouth, a meat war, rolls out the entertainment as if last year's static could really clean the circuit, follows like a bus into what the map conceals is this hand. Its twist and squeak, halt. It seems that now they've all got the same head. Talks up a threat prepared earlier from the letter cast. Nailed behind the eyes, entertainment is your talk. You like to keep it at entry level, and why not? Not eat. Raise dense matter centers, a string vibration break window with your elders equals what stars mean. When kept between the cheeks, the pulse reopens subterranean rings like rock and roll considered as scenery. Brownfield contamination, plant homeless. London has moved on. The whipping posts are expensive. Plant homeless. Panic as they start to speak and breathe event. Insert liability cards down left ear. Flick penile derangement as monitor, as standard. Those who have exited molecular level are passed off as a universe fit to live in. Speaker cones. The dense black clouds that appear at tide that drop down one by one, shout it out on expense account, scratch the song into his own fingers as if Braille style sprayed a trust circuit over a blatant surgical toss. But can it matter what guitars will say when what we, i.e. everyone, can eat is solid? Squeal, as if convinced the circuit cursed, the ghosts of sums of money wailing by necessity. You know that 86% of Londoners think cool is brand-heated interiors. Tell them it's so. Tip the right shirt down your throat, enters helium dust from your lips. Bark riot now. But the answer is when... But the answer is what you listen. You don't. Tell them, say what you understand as circuit breakers, as understanding is minimum level entry. Okay, document 2005. I think I actually have a separate copy of this individually somewhere. It's on my shelf, I think. And I believe this is the last. Let me see. Yeah, we're in the last bit, 143 to 153, so we're in the last 10 pages now. Filter OD. Speaking in a language whose strange melody might not belong on Earth. David Nichol is in jail. Endurance is nerve end, photon screw, photography of dead people sealed with letters. You want atom is a nail, says amygdala, finger in the earth. That means wake up now. This is the ever same as abject ghost buzz shatter in your voice prism. Adjust you, says countersign. Fiction says star kick equal not you. Twitch radio in burnt red. Your juncture voice implodes, starling. Scratch while your pennies sleep. Say dial. Where the wiring ends in what you think. Press past Cable Street as thorn toss, or do not eat this meat, this glass, displaced, O useless head, cross street. Sly gland occupation, heritage agitation as muscles spurt. Name yourself. This is Harry Spree. Eat your sympathy. Its product, arouse. Its role in human life, invent permission. Take it off. You feel good as itch, star is ancient, suck is fixed, rust is fear circuit. Rust is next big thing like shoes, like your shoes. You like shoes, jazz is nice like it, nice at 5-speed arousal, limited. Then imagine celebrities had to duck sniper rimshot at every bust. Burst rhythm cluster is unacceptable. Now you withdraw or wake up and yell. Those are not my beautiful hands. Love it. Or everything we know as symbols in magazine insertion. You are not your beautiful face to fill you with vocabulary. Jazz is sleep. Prefer servitude. Or gated community smiles a social horizon pit. Flame, march on Whitehall, suck, vortex, or fuck it. You lied. Say 45 minutes, say broadcast, cell whip and foam lick. The single psychotic individual sleeps on string. Is not you. Are blank within these institutions. Say thorn, the starry mess. Say buzz, say eat it. Don't exist outside your mouth. Say fire is further networks of snatch angels. Rictus placement at office level radon buzz as voice strobe will enter 9 to 5 lymph system. Saturation as buzz circuit. Private. The disappeared want to know what rich people won't understand. Cable Street is fright filter, is vacant, is irritation, or reach implosive necessity. Not me. Scattered like a bad debt. See that ladybird? Eat it. Level P would like to keep memory of it short, like that of the world. Is more interesting than you. Should buy some of this. Client, please. That voice surrounds and grips stories between levels you had locked. Client, hand. You had burned them. Names equal clients. The power off. Flicker them or say spark. For flower glue, say cyst or memory, count it, and divide what always was level P, which does not mean pandemonium, far from it. Black dot as coin resort. Now swim. Now slot it. Fire. Make client now from blast rock replay kitsch as social option or pretend Cable Street is nice. Say nice. Say boil. In checkout queue be plastic hour spent tonguing strangers and other people's hair or rub it. Then it buzz on echo. Say buzzlot. Say spit. Say why you. Fucked till dawn, then hands broke. Music broke. Music broke. Work of the 5 senses. Gather them. Fix them. Use as gathering of memories. Scatter next week. London Falls. Borrowed. Forget it. Had locked them. Rat seal. Open. Music fades. Static is what you said. Open mouth. Coin. Say coin. Take any tower. Say statue as particle suspended in oil. Receptor fiction. The monument network. It doesn't fit. It's true. Walk catacomb as fear circuit. No city of the sun to interpret the prime minister as A, nail, B, priest, C, decent venereal distance, whatever. The first circle is impenetrable. Admit these. Silo, Blake, Urizen. Laugh now. Insert learned fear. The 4th circle is throat, bush, head down. Sick, sick. The second circle is you. Puke, muscle, fetch, and jizz is nice. No nice. Fix. In the arena of heads, nerve, flesh, and buzz memory is the sixth circle method. Is the sixth circle method. Is hunger is easy money, but never use these words. Understand that you are medicine and very easy to starve. Say this, your love is the point where it blisters. In the third circle, say, walk on these things only. Say, snob, say, Volpith. The fifth circle was cancelled. Eat service, eat romance, envy. Never say envy, music, envy. The seventh circle is obvious. Reports say black dot, invade. But the hours say territory, say surgeons fixed on body, break open what is clear. Parade flesh as snob vortex, reverse the current or humiliated. Go home, sing, is nice, say this, you prefer servitude, let's be nice, hurt me. Now forget, file and forget, or mumble some numb crap included like a machine is filed away in half of one of your English hours. Don't want to be pressed inside each day of jagged ease as a universe with closing sale now breaking down. Document, and soon asylum seekers will sit in spit and box, no land to speak of, as all cities are curdled, spat through algebraic memory, oblique and polite, fatwa on numbers who walk in greater circles, but cities require danger as all else is too smooth, like a faked baby neutralized with nails. Branson as interpreter, Richard Branson as mass memory, Richard as mouth that says, run it like a firm. Is no distortion. Job seekers recognize the friendly bacteria as they do not wear ties and grin in unison in high alert, wear chemical suits and join hands to keep us out. Sick bells. Competition is simple. Get the best seekers, find the hidden seroxat. Under black stones, Botox stubble, insert transients and cellular matter, insert property prices, a green dye. Watch it progress, vascular level, roast with garlic. Toss northern terraces to damp sand. Control information and grind their stones and scatter the value of land multiplies as rumors of heritage coagulate like sucking clams. Look, a picture. Put a gate on it. Breathe in good film dust. Interpret the A to Z of any city as satellite pincer movement. The implications are that barren. We recommend hibernation as first investment. Rich people are growing on shredded voices, gather gas underground, and Branson says, make adventure, was meant to be great. Well, is kinda dull. Frames in specific parameters eat nice gas, nice exterior, nice mass memory with running electricity, the commune, and aching sore. We are all on pills and torture. We'll take anything. Document, no admittance. No admittance to glass shift from behind flat, static, glacial, radio enclosed, and ignite. The very young will tell you it landed way back before official memory like 1980 or something is marked. Understand its privacy. The camera has rights to make you, extracted from each time your life is playback as a series of boxes you frame, grinds till pleasure is baked joy of department glass, the house rattles, or last night I dreamt I was on the tube, and when I woke in consultation. This advice given to the very young. Pour aerosol. Mark it. Imagine London flutter its tight hand. Inscript it. Make big groan. Split. Private. Give feedback on what it means to be inside this sealed in wax rose, like being patronized. One day on the strand, told me heat planet, gas ignition, very likely, so why finish anything? Words tangle, Hertel boulder constellation of planet gas and celestial spurt to mark the privacy boundary. No admittance except on business. For broadcast, magnetic scrub and hermetic ion from A to Z turned inside out. Some light gone for the territory means switch them off. Okay, this is our last 2 pages. Almost done. Then I gotta eat my dinner. Document. Suicide note. London the movie is Get Out. We all should stop lying. The Prime Minister would like us not to understand, has closed doors that any child would, and of shift. The position the position is, it goes like this. You walk in, take your face off, plug in, identity is permafrost, is fly spray, is easy. You go back home, sleep your skeleton out, ride him, his shift crust, stop him and ride him and stop. Get off at Aldgate, smash Stonehenge, and queue up inside what tourists want at Capex capacity. The dull lager out of our fear, tenants extra as interpretation. The Prime Minister would like us to say why. So don't know, but come on. The idea is simple, like Digby Jones, his mouth available in various sizes, insert gradients, and the social stitch alone trickle. You learn to love them, tectonic as, I see you, baby, are composed of mission plans and shaking your 40 quid for a Capex shot as silence imposed on London is hard spit, conveniently lost in discussion of business, innovation group, or BIG for short. Have you got a big idea? When you submit an ideal to BIG, it goes through an innovation funnel like lock the library. We are all in storage, all the time, an icon dust, siren lash, whatever. I feel beautiful tonight. As cartoon noise photocopied to secure funds and houses made of pure chemicals only. There are reasons to don't say, don't run. Unload it. Loot the supermarket. There are reasons to don't say, don't run. Okay. Thank you for joining me for what has been my first exploration, well, perhaps yours as well, of Sean Bonney's blade pitch control unit. This is going to be a hella long recording now. I think I've chopped it up into like 5 bits. It's probably going to be like over 2 hours, gosh. Might have to move it to YouTube or something so I can add. Anyway. I hope you're all having a wonderful evening, day, time. And yeah, I'll see you again next time when I have a look at what else is on my shelf that I need to have a look through. Yeah, overall I've had a lot of, I want to say fun. I think that's not quite the word. Sometimes it was fun. There were moments of kind of absurdity, which I found fun. Started laughing, like kind of cracks in the clouds. But I think overall I found it energizing, even though it's exhausting in a different way, like physically exhausting, but mentally energizing and emotionally energizing. And I've heard people say before about, I think it was on the podcast, someone said that when Sean would read his work, and I guess it's in the work as well, that there would be a kind of like agitation of the flesh, that it's, I find the punctuation does a lot of that work actually in the one I've just read. I can't actually remember what happiness looks like because I kind of took it in small chunks and was very overwhelmed by everything else to do with my dissertation. But yeah, a lot of it's for me, the energy comes from sometimes from the direct way he's addressing things, but a lot of it is from the punctuation, that everything is really kind of it's not fragmented, that's not the word I want, but it's interrupted. It's constantly interrupting itself. It's shifting along parallel lines, and sometimes he goes back to things and sometimes he doesn't, and you don't really know what's going to happen. And I guess that's kind of that feeling of being maybe in the city or surrounded by, I don't know, capitalism. I'm not sure what. I don't understand a lot of these references yet. I would have to do a lot more research to kind of get some of the content here, but from feeling wise, it feels like when you're going too fast and nothing's there to slow you down, and you need help getting grounded, you need something to hold on to. But it's like, you know, when cats get excited and you're kind of giving them a little scratch and they start moving because they're excited and they can only walk forwards. I'm not sure what that's about, but they don't ever walk backwards. And once they've started moving, it's like they have to go and then they have to come back again. And that's what it feels like in Sean's mind. Like, we are constantly moving forwards. And sometimes we circle around on things, but that's more of a pacing, because it's like being stuck in a container. Even if the container is a whole city, that oh, I'm back here again because there's nothing else, there's nowhere else to get to. So it feels like a kind of like banging into a window over and over again, trying to get out, like a bird maybe. The kind of frustration of having all this energy and mental energy, observational energy, kind of perceptual energy, and it ends up being potential energy because it can't take a form that I think that's it. The mind, well, what I'm perceiving is that behind these works is a desire to create either an object in the poem or actual practical change in the outside world. That it's not, the frustration and the potential energy is from it not being enough for it to be a kind of time capsule, internal, complete object, which is kind of what I do with my work. I just aim to understand what I'm doing in that moment fully and try and explore that and try and express that faithfully. Try and discover what it is so that it stands alone as its own entity. But I feel like this work is, and I don't really think about it being useful, because I think after that it can be useful. Like if I personally try and consider my work being any kind of use, I'm not going to do anything useful, because I can't think like that. I have to be very intimately in the moment with whatever subject I'm kind of locked in the room with, and there needs to be a certain kind of intensity and tension, and almost it almost becomes like people describe psychosis. I think, like, I become so far distanced from the world in order to understand and listen to what the subject is telling me in its language and its terms, in order to translate in a kind of vaguely faithful way these impressions and perceptions. I'm kind of trying to coalesce into something that has its own movements and is speaking to me. Anyway, but it feels like, in contrast, that Sean's work is always hyper aware of connectivity in socially, as in through other people, because they're this is going to be a bit inarticulate while I try and figure out what I'm trying to say. People are figures in the work. Sometimes they're like okay, it's like the I is also we, like you can interchange Sean and anyone else, because although there is a bit of an us in them, because he's looking at power dynamics often, I feel, with money especially. Like, either you can relate to having lived this walked experience or not, but for most people you will have some ability to relate. And the people he mentions and that he's in specific, explicit correspondence with is also connecting him through time, through which for me is not just that there's a kind of optimism there that, like, after we die, maybe someone else will pick up our work, maybe it will be the right time for that specific work to have more almost forceful physical impact on the outside world. Maybe it can create a form for itself. It can be picked up and there can be a form for it in a bigger way. But which I think there is an undercurrent of massive optimism here, especially because he's been so prolific. And fuck, I forgot where I was going. But it's not just that. It's, oh yeah, it's also kind of, it feels like he's kind of like being inside a spiral, because he's pinging from things, around things that are in different times, that across time, if we don't see time as kind of like a linear thing, right? It's not A to B like the numbers would suggest when you see dates, like you know, like, oh, the Second World War was 1939 to 1945, and that's like a straight line, and it goes up in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But seeing it more like, that's one way of mapping history, but another way is when you are, well, another way of mapping anything is not sequential, it's qualitative. So when you kind of, and this is something I do as well, and so I'm kind of recognizing, or maybe just projecting, that you can search for patterns of behaviors, of results of whatever, like for example earthquakes. So in here it feels very much like Sean is like, there's a lot I don't know in terms of knowledge, in terms of like just sheer trivia education, but I can feel that we're moving around a kind of framework that when I fill it in, I kind of know what I expect to be there. It's like economic earthquakes. It's kind of, so he's like, we're mapping and moving through. Come on, Dana, brain. We're mapping and moving through the same man-made problems. There, yeah, that cliche that history repeats itself, but it's a very specific slice. We're looking at a very specific like angle. It's like he's cutting it into layers and moving around in circles, well, and squiggles, and you know, sideways and jaggedy and knifing things on the side of this one kind of layer of the onion of history, because we're at an angle, right? So the light, we can see what we can see through that angle is different than just yeah, I think that's it. It's not like, it's overview in the sense that it's bird's eye view, in the sense that it's like yeah, overview, that you're seeing the abstract, you're seeing a big picture, so to speak, but it's not bird's eye view in the sense that it's dissociated, in the sense that it's disembodied or numerical. It's like, this is the opposite of linear history. Sorry if this is making literally no sense, because I'm figuring this out as I go along. He's embodying, the body is massively important here. There's constant and it's not romanticized either. It's there, spit, cum, blood, puke. It's the embodied experience and of being at that angle on the ground level. But he can see himself as he's on the ground level, and he can see himself as other people as he's on the ground level, and in time as other people have been as he's on the ground level. And I think that's why a lot of this has so much power, and kind of like yeah, this potential energy that I feel it. I don't know, although I don't find all of the territory that we're going over specifically follows my passions or my interests, and it is very specific, despite being quite difficult at first to orient yourself. I still think it's very, very important logic to understand, and I hope that I can begin to kind of dismantle this logic and learn how to apply it, and then apply parts of it to other subjects to kind of, I guess, continue a perspective, perhaps. I was going to say something else. My brief 10-minute reading before dinner has turned into 40 minutes. Oh dear. Yeah, I mean, obviously take with a pinch of context that I haven't, a lot of people who've studied these works, and I know Sean Bonney has been studied quite extensively, I think, and rightfully so, because it's very good work, and I think he has a very pronounced genius in the sense of ability to create something not necessarily new, but individual, as in you can't get this except through Sean Bonney. And he's embraced that massively. He's like embodied it through his reading, through his voices, through a lot of things. I need to explore some of the later work as well, and go through it with a fine-tooth comb and really try and understand these references and where we're coming from and going through, because I feel like these are very kind of surface level observations, and I might be completely widely off about things that really make a difference, such as social context, history, things, references he makes to, like, he was talking about Paris Commune and happiness and things like that, and there's people in here, politicians, so I think that will add a lot of richness to kind of mine into. But the basic mechanics and behavior that I'm feeling and embodying as I'm, what I feel like I'm experiencing as I'm reading the work and experiencing it for the first time, is pretty much that. Okay, yeah, right, now I'm actually gonna go and eat. Thank you all for joining me. If you've made it this far, possibly you have nothing better to do. I'm sorry, it's lockdown. And I hope you all have a wonderful evening. And yeah, bye.